is where the individuals share something that they enjoy doing or something they know a lot about, and they just want to share that with everybody. So, for instance, we had one guy share all about Elvis Presley with us just to keep those presentation skills up, and learn how to present in front of others. And if we have feedback, we can give them some feedback as well. And then we have a Throwback Thursday where they do a little research on a certain topic, whether it's transportation, form of transportation, and then they show us how that form of transportation has evolved throughout the years, and they share it with us. It's pretty amazing to see what some of them come up with. They share YouTube videos, we've had PowerPoints, but they come up with all the information. If they need help putting it together, they reach out to me and send me the information, and we work together in putting it into a PowerPoint if that's what they want to do. So it's something fun, but it's also a learning experience for them as well to keep up those skills. So again, you can find all of that at blanchardvalley.org under calendar, and all the events are in there. You click on that and you will get the Zoom link that leads you right to that. We are still hosting our Speaks Out and Action Club monthly as well. So if nobody else, does anybody have any questions on anything?
Are you gonna, for the Live and Learn, is that gonna be a recording and something that we can use later?
We can probably record that.
That'd be awesome.
I think that's something that we can try to do.
Can I sign up all of my people? Like, can I register them and then you send me the link for one, or do I need to register each person?
Well, if it depends how many devices they're going to be using.
There'll just be one for 4 people and one for 2 people.
Okay, then I would just do one for each device.
Okay.
We want to try to get as much participation as we can, especially with getting some, outside presenters coming. We were really fortunate to get Jay Birchback, which I believe he's from ABC 13 up in Toledo. So what a great thing, for people to see him present, and maybe they've seen him on TV. So, these Live and Learns, of course, are things that we had implemented a year or 2 ago that are in person quarterly, but since we can't, we have been trying to offer them virtually. So even if you could just get your staff to get the link up and have people get on it to participate that day, we really would appreciate that. Does anybody have any other questions for Danielle in regard to advocacy? All right, well, thank you, Danielle. Okay.
I did attach the link in the chat box if anybody needs it.
Wonderful.
Oh, just a second, I will chat.
Okay. Let me see if,
There you go.
Okay, great. Danielle put that link in the chat for you to see. So let's, I'm gonna throw it over to Nikki, and I'm gonna see if maybe Allie is on a phone call. She was next to talk. So Nikki, if you would go ahead, please.
So I wanted to share out, Constance Skilleter officially started in December. And then I know we had announced Callista was leaving. So Constance is Callista's replacement and took the majority of her caseload. Then we have all the SSAs are back from leave. I know last time we talked, we had several out on either medical or maternity leave. So as of January 4th, everyone is back from their leave. So hopefully we're back to a full staff for a while and stay that way. The Ohio ISP, I know we've talked before about there being the statewide ISP and assessment. It was originally slated to be rolled out this spring. They did decide to push it back due to the pandemic, and the new rollout date is July of 2021. So kind of keep that on your calendars and books that as July of 2020 rolls around, we'll start incorporating the new ISP pending they don't change it again due to the pandemic. So what that will look like is just as people come up for their annual plans, they'll roll into that new plan. So essentially, it'll take an entire year before we really see everyone under the new plan and assessment. There is training available on the DoDD site if you haven't taken it yet. The email said it was available through My Learning, both for agency providers as well as SSA. So if you haven't checked it out, there are some presentations on the DoDD site for that. Then the last thing to share out is we are doing a person-centered series in collaboration with Laura Swafford. I know I saw her on here somewhere. And she's through Safe and Home, and that person-centered series solutions focuses on some of the technology that's available. So the upcoming dates for that are March 17th, and that one is going to focus on managing my meds. April 14th, and that one is living independently. May 12th is the last one in the series, and that one is participating in my community. All of those will be done online. There's a link available on our Facebook page. It's on there as an event. If you wish to you don't have to get registered. You can just click on the link and start participating right away. And on all of those dates, it's available at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. And that's all I have for today.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Laura, for our first round of presentations for that. Definitely looking forward to the rest of the series. Please, if you can, get a chance to hop on. Like Nikki said, it's offered twice each of the days that Laura is presenting, and it is definitely worth the time. So thank you again, Laura, for collaborating with us for that.
Everyone, I hope you all will attend it. I appreciate it.
I can just say in connection with that, I mean, we're really looking at assistive technology through this year. One of the plans for the county board is to have a tech home, like a smart home, which will be the White House next door. So stay tuned for that as we get that rolled out, hopefully in 2021.
Yes, and I do believe I heard today that it is probably going to be featured in the Courier, in the newspaper. So if you see word about that, that's what that's all about. And I know Nikki's been working hard on that to get that going. So that's pretty exciting for our county board to be able to offer a house like that. Do you want to maybe, Nikki, say like what our hope for that house is?
Our hope is, if some of you are familiar with what we call the White House, which is next door to the county board, is a duplex that we have. The intention is to take the downstairs of that property and make it fully accessible. So it'll have like ramps and the wheel and shower, so a fully accessible home. And then in addition to that is adding some of those remote supports and assistive technology so people can try it. We certainly understand that people get nervous and it's a lot of anxiety thinking about moving out on your own. So we hope that this is an opportunity for people to trial what it's like to live independently over at the White House, or even just see technology in action. Some of the things we envision over there are like the ring bell system. We have the keyless entry, look at some sensors for the stoves, moisture sensors, some of those door alarms or window alarms. We're actually we've been in conversations with Laura about what some of that technology will look like. So certainly don't want to limit ourselves, but definitely make it a trial house where they can go there or even just tour and see what the technology looks like.
What an exciting time. Just think about all those people who could, that we support, that definitely could be independent and just need that little extra measure, that maybe they don't have to have staff around them all the time, and just can increase that for them. Really, really exciting time for us right now. Great, well, thank you so much. Anybody have any questions for Nikki and the SSA department? Do I dare to ask, how's the e-signatures going?
Perfect.
Yay.
Yeah, I would say that's a good
Love
thing to bring up too.
I love
Yep.
it.
I love
Yep,
it. You know
love
what,
it.
in the
Love it.
beginning, the boxes, across, the person, then the name, and then the signature, they were all over top of each other. But they fixed that the same day, like within 15 minutes, I got an email that it was fixed and it's perfect. It is so, so nice. But I have a question. How do we get the individual signature on that?
So good question. We actually had that question come up because the email, so like Barb, for example, if we send it to you, like only you're gonna be able to sign. So what they advised to us is that company is to get email set up for the folks that would need to sign that. And then I do have an instruction sheet for that, but that was the way that they said that we would be able to get their signature, is set the person up with an email account. Do you guys think that's
Okay.
reasonable?
Oh, yeah, and I've done that actually for my people, and it's working very well.
Okay, and if people need an instruction sheet or anything, the eDoc, Kim actually made one for us, and maybe Denise can send it out to this group. I'm glad to hear it's working well. I know there was, we had some people who didn't feel the training was super helpful, but if there is anyone out there and you're having any questions about it, I'm happy to get on with you and explain it. We did some additional training here for the SSAs. That way they understand it better.
That's really, really exciting to hear too, that it's going so well. And if there is any additional training, we definitely have that as an option coming through eDoc as well, and Nikki. So great, good news, good news. Okay, let's turn it over to Michelle Dara. Michelle? Michelle, you're still muted.
Okay, how's that? Good morning.
Perfect. Oh no, Michelle froze. Come back to us, Michelle. One moment, please. So about that e-signature, how's that go? One moment. All right, so let's just Nadine, how about if you go while Michelle is unfreezing?
You hear me?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so DD month is coming up here soon. March 1st, we'll kick it off. Things will look a little different this year since we can't have our celebrity basketball game. We won't be doing our hot chocolate bars out in the community. We do plan on having our flash mob dance though, virtually. So we just got that link today. We will be sharing it with all of you. We encourage all of you to participate because we love your dance moves. I will send a big long list to Denise and she will send that out to you guys later today. So it'll be the flash mob dance. We are going to be doing a virtual celebration video. So we consider you guys all celebrities in our community, on top of other people. So we will be sending out information on holding a sign, or you could do a little message with a video, just saying something about DD month, and we're going to compile that into a big, large video and share it throughout the month. BBC Gear Day, March 16th would have been our celebrity basketball game, which a lot of you would have been attending or participating in. So we're going to encourage everyone to wear their BBC gear on that day. A lot of you have old shirts from our celebrity basketball games, or maybe Action Club shirts or Speaks Out, t-shirt fundraisers we've done in the past. We do have a t-shirt fundraiser going on for Speaks Out right now. So if you'd like to get in on that to have a shirt for that day, you may do that. That'll be in the email that Denise sends out. A couple other things that we're going to be doing throughout the month, just to kind of highlight the month. We will be sharing historical moments of advocacy and movement for disability rights throughout the month. A lot of social media posts will be happening. We'll be highlighting local success stories. So people that if you know of a great success story that you want to share, send it my way and we will make it happen. Picture is always helpful. We will have our display board at the Findlay Hancock Public Library like we always do. It'll be the first 2 weeks of March. We will be doing virtual traveling trivia with our podcast hosts, so keep an eye on Facebook for that. We have our proclamation scheduled that will be with the Hancock County Commissioners as well as the Findlay Mayor. We will continue doing our outreach to local schools, and that will include some sign language, learning a few words with sign language, reading the book Susan Laughs. We have a coloring book with organic engagement about the similarities and differences, and people first language. And then we are doing something new this year. We're having a window painting contest for high schoolers. That'll be grades through 9 can participate in that. We will have our billboards as we usually do, and we will be sharing examples, good examples of accessibility in Hancock County. So again, a lot of it's social media. That's kind of what we're restricted to do at this point in time without being able to have large group settings, large group events. But if you have anything that you want to share with us, by all means, send it to me and we can collaborate on that. But I will be looking forward to pictures and videos of you all dancing with the flash mob. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Nadine. As you can see, we have a few things planned for the month of March. Any providers that are on this call, you are more than welcome to participate in any of that. I do think you should take a look at that flash mob video that we'll be sending out. This is something that we've been known for over the past couple years. I don't know if there's any Taylor Swift fans out there, but I'll just tell you, it's one of her songs. So you can just shake it off and do the flash mob with us. So there is Michelle, and I will turn it over to her. Michelle? Michelle?
I just go in their medical files.
Okay, hello. Was I frozen the entire time, the last 10 times I tried? Yes, okay. All right, hi, everybody new. I'm Michelle Dara. I'm the RN here and the health educator. I teach med classes and CPR, first aid, and oversee delegation. So I am bringing to your attention something sent from the department. It's vaccine marketing materials for any of you interested in spreading the word, providing information for your employees or just for your own for yourselves. It's called the COVID-19 Accessible Materials and Culturally Relevant Messages for Individuals with Disabilities Project. And this is a CDC Foundation funded communication initiative. The CDC is an advisor on this, and what they've done is put together essential COVID-19 information in Braille, American Sign Language, simplified text, and a way to deliver for those who use screenwriters, for people with disabilities, their families, and their caregivers. Any American Sign Language videos are available on the CDC website. It's a YouTube videos, but that can be accessed from there. There are 2 toolkits for special populations. One is a communication toolkit for essential workers. So that would be employers providing the information or the access to it for their staff and employees. And then there's a COVID-19 vaccination toolkit for community-based organizations. And that has things like stickers that can be printed off after receiving a vaccination, and then just simplified terminology in how to understand what is happening and what getting the vaccine means. So if anybody would like that link, if you have not received that information, let us know and Denise can send that off. There are a lot of resources on the DODD website. There are three links to click, actually, if you've not seen it lately. If you scroll down almost to the bottom, there are three boxes with different pieces of information on there that are really easy to understand. So that's what I have about vaccines. I wanted to, I mean, we all know this, it's been freezing cold for over a week now, but I wanted to just have a reminder about weather protection and having staff observe for signs and symptoms of hypothermia and frostbite. There's a really good health and welfare alert that was put out December 2018. It's still relevant, and it describes how to protect oneself in bundling up for winter weather, timing to be out, skin exposure, what to look for signs of frostbite and hypothermia. So that can be accessed in the health and welfare alert section on the DODD website. Okay, for education, we are looking at bringing back in-person classes for initial med administration, categories 1, 2, and 3. So as soon as I get some dates together, we will post that on our website, just like we normally do for the calendars. So initial med administration will be first, and then we'll look at CPR classes. I'm still going to do renewals remotely. So just keep on emailing me the applications, and then I will get the 2021 continuing education out to you. We're going to do remote for just the next little bit until we get our numbers and see what happens with the color of the state and all of that. So also if you could let me know your needs for initial certification only. How many staff you need to be certified, and if that's categories 1, 2, or 3. Any questions for me?
So as Michelle said, you know, even though Hancock County is still a red county, we did have a discussion last week as a county board that these initial med certification classes, you know, it really was not good that nobody was able to offer these, or providers were having to drive quite a distance in order to get their staff med certified. So we have made the decision as a county board to have Michelle do those classes that she referenced in person. Now, of course, we have, you know, capacity of 10 people for each class. So it's imperative that you let Michelle know what your needs are so that we can plan accordingly. Typically it's something, Michelle, that's once a month. So if we have a great need, might have to look at how can we accommodate all those people, right?
Yeah, definitely. So like Denise said, we are limited to how many people in person. So if you had, you know, if I can do a class of 10, if you have 10, then obviously we're going to probably split up and get a few from each agency. Just so let me know your numbers. Let me see what you need. Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay. And then, as a lot of you Hancock providers know, you know, we've had a few of the COVID vaccination clinics held here. We have another one on Friday, which is a second round for people who received it in January. And then the people who received it last week, they will have their second shot in March. As of this time, We have not heard from the health department that we're offering any more first round vaccinations. So that is something that is not driven by us. It is driven by the health department. And we appreciate all of your assistance with our last minute phone calls, trying to get people in here. We let you know as soon as we hear. So unfortunately, we did have a few times where it was, oh, hey, it's the next day. But other than that, we've really tried to let people know ahead of time. So thank you again. We had, what was it, Michelle, like 180 some vaccinations last Wednesday, and we maybe had 4 people unable to make it. So that's a pretty good number out of all the people that were supposed to be here. So thank you again for assisting with that. We really do appreciate it. Okay, anybody have any other questions for Michelle?
I do, just not a question, but the man that used to do the CPR and first aid at the hospital, Dave Marosher, has his own company and he still is doing inpatient, good gravy, in-person CPR and first aid, if anybody would happen to need that until the center is ready to get up and rolling with theirs. And he will come to you.
You know the charge for that class, Barb?
I think it's 50
Okay.
per thing, like 50 for first aid, 50 for CPR.
Oh, okay. Speaking of that, well, I am still able to offer blended learning CPR, which is you do 3/4, actually a little bit more. You do the modalities online and it's through the American Heart Association. So I would actually have to send you the link. You would be in my class, so to speak. So I would send the link, you do the modalities online, and then you will receive a certificate at the end of the online portion. And then you have 90 days to get with me in person to do your skills. So basically just, I've done it a number of times remotely. We were able to get a mannequin to Wyandotte County to get some of the staff done there, and it worked out great. So I would just ask a few questions and then you would demonstrate skills. And that for providers is still free. So that's another option. That, and the course online takes about 2.5 hours to do, but you don't have to do it all at one time.
I just looked at my bill from Dave and it's 25 a piece. So it's 50 per person for first aid and CPR.
Okay.
That didn't sound right. So I looked at the bill.
Great, thank you.
And he will bill you. You don't have to have the money up front. He'll send you an invoice.
Thanks for sharing that resource as well, Barb. All right, well, thank you so much, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Keep in mind too, when we're talking about free classes or opportunities for providers, we still are doing background checks for free for all providers. And then when Michelle starts her med classes, those are free for you, as well as the CPR first aid. So that is something that will not change. We are going to continue to offer that as a free service for all providers. Also know too that we are offering the CPI training, and we are doing that virtually over Zoom. We are doing just the verbal techniques with that. Obviously, you cannot teach, any of the hands-on interventions over Zoom. So at this time, it's just verbal. Sanette, are you still on here? Sanette, I know you just had some staff go through it. Would you mind saying your experience with it?
They really enjoyed the program. none of them actually had that experience like we did in the past, like how we talk to clients and not just box them in and all that, how to experience, like we did in the past. Okay, we had the help, everyone was trained. None of them that I have now are trained in the behaviors that our clients can have. We do not have a lot of clients that have behaviors, but sometimes we have a bad day, and they really enjoyed the input that Brad had and Tanya. I cannot remember who was the other person on, but anyway, it was a good course for them, and they're looking forward to the hands-on, how to help our individuals not to hurt themselves or others or even staff, how to do that. So it was a good experience.
Thank you for sharing that, Sanette. I will send out the flyer along with some of the other links that we talked about today to all of you, but I am the contact person. So if you want any of your staff to go through any of that verbal redirection CPI training that we offer, please reach out to me and we can get that rolling for you. So I just have a few updates. Believe it or not, there's not too much pending coming out of the state right now. The infamous provider certification rule update, that was supposed to have been done in 2020. And if you all remember, they are splitting the provider certification rule into 2 rules, one for agencies and one for providers. There's been a lot of back and forth with that rule that's been coming out, because they really did change up quite a few things specific to training requirements. So still more discussions are to be had. At this point, they have pushed it back to September 1st of 2021. So I just will continue to keep you posted if that is going to occur or not. They've had a lot of time to work on it, so I can't imagine that it should be too much longer, but at this point, you still continue with the existing provider certification rule when it comes time for, new staff, annual training, things like that. So I'll let you guys know the more that I hear about that. PPE, we still have a ton of it. We have gloves, we have hand sanitizer, all that good stuff, masks. So if there's anything that you need, please let me know and we can get that to you. We have a lot, and that's not to say we're not going to still continue to need it for, however long, but if you're in a need at all, please do not hesitate to reach out. That's why we have it. It's here to support you guys. And if you can't make it to the center to pick it up, we can find a way to get it to you as well. Let's see. Provider compliance reviews are returning March 1st. So if you were contacted about having a provider compliance review and then it was stopped because they put it on hold, be on the lookout for those to continue. If you were a provider who had a provider compliance review and you had to submit a plan of corrections, they are looking at getting you answers to those right now, as well as that should come back March 1st. It's unfortunate for providers to have to wait for that type of a program to be shut down in order to have your plan of corrections approved or disapproved from the department. So please know that that is all returning as well. I had a question from an independent provider wanting to know what other providers do about insurance, especially if it's anyone who does not have a spouse who could put them on their plan. They wanted to know who you go through or who would be a good option. So please feel free to unmute yourself if you have any type of guidance that you can let me know for this person.
A lot of my people, and myself included, use Hitchings insurance.
Hitchings.
He's on Main Street, sort of across from Dr. Sang Domino's, in that big white house with the pillars, if
Okay.
you're familiar with Finley. Lee is very good. There's only 2 people in there that can write health plans, but he is very good. And we have all come up with a plan that suits our needs.
Wonderful. Thank you, Barb.
You're welcome.
Anyone else want to share who they use for insurance? Okay, well, I'll make sure that I get this information to that independent provider as well. Outside of that, I really don't have anything else for you all today. Does anybody have any questions for me? Is there anything that you need, or do you have any questions for any of the other presenters today? Rick, the answer to your question is medical insurance, medical and dental. All right, well, I will send out an email trying to include some of the things that we talked about today, and I appreciate everybody taking the time to get on. I hear there's more snow coming tomorrow and these temperatures aren't going to lift anytime soon. All right, DJ. So everybody stay warm and stay safe and have a great Wednesday.